me drink. That's awkward. Good evening, my name's Sue Scary. I'm not really called Scary, I'm called Sue. I married Mr. Carey. I went back into work and they did my email address, which was my first letter of my first name and my surname, and they went, Scary! And I went, fucking amazing, thank you. So my husband's name is Scott, so we are technically Mr. and Mrs. Scary. So next week is our favourite time of year, because it's Halloween. And as Sam said, I'm not really from around here, but it sounds like you get that quite a lot, because I don't think there's many people from Calstock here, is there? So I'm from Manchester originally, and we moved down here about 10 years ago. And when we moved down here, we was choosing places to live, you know, and we looked at lots of different places, and people kept saying, choose somewhere with a good school, and that's very different to where we was living in Manchester, because there you choose somewhere with a good correctional facility, trying to control the locals. And so we live in Taunton in Somerset, and we looked at all sorts of places around there, and one of the places we went to was Glastonbury. You know, because it's famous because of the festival and everything, and I thought, you know, if we live in Glastonbury, we might get them cheap tickets. And we went to Glastonbury for the day. There's lots of very strange, shouty people in Glastonbury, aren't there? Well, I don't think we was really prepared for that. And we sat down and we had some breakfast, which the mushrooms were brilliant. And we were thinking about, if we lived in Glastonbury, it'd be quite hard just to do like your normal shopping, wouldn't it? Where would you buy a pint of milk and a loaf of bread? You can get a wizard's cape, some tarot cards and a crystal ball in just about every shop. It's very odd. So we settled in Taunton, and Taunton's it's quite a nice place. It's not that big compared to Manchester, obviously. Not many places down here are. It's got a mix of people in Taunton, some quite posh people and some dead ordinary people like us. And you can tell that when you go down the high street, because there's a job centre in Iceland and a Rolex shop. They're next to each other. Not quite sure who's in the Rolex shop, actually. But there you go. So we came down here today, and wow, it's a fucking long way, and it down some tiny roads down here. And it reminds me of the first time I've got a gig in Falmouth, and my geography knowledge of the Southwest is still, I'm still learning my geography of the Southwest. And I thought I know where Plymouth is, and Falmouth, it's got to be next to Plymouth, hasn't it? Falmouth is fucking miles away. It's like in the middle of nowhere, on the edge of a cliff. If you go any further, you fall in the sea, you know. It's like, I drove down there in rush hour. It was winter, so it was dark. There was nothing on the road. I passed nothing apart from 2 tractors. Rush hour, 2 tractors. So I couldn't believe it. And when we came down here tonight, I driving down some little tiny roads, and I thought, thank God I've got a good car. Some of the cars that I used to own in Manchester, I'm not quite sure would have made it down here. I had one car. Does anybody remember the manual choke? Yeah. I had a Ford Fiesta, and it used to have what I used to call the built-in immobiliser. Didn't actually have an immobiliser. But I had a special way of starting the car. So I'd have to, and I used to park the car outside a 24-hour taxi station in Manchester. And I think I was like the built-in entertainment for the taxi company. Because I'd get down there in the morning and you'd see them at the window going, here you are, she's here again, this bird. Watch how she has to start the car. And I'd get in my Fiesta, and I'd pull the choke out, and I'd pump the accelerator 3 times, and then I'd have to go like that while I was starting the car. And it was the action of moving in the front seat that made the car start. And the people, honestly, the people in the taxi station, they were like, here we are again, look at her, she's mad as toast. But then I got sick of that Ford Fiesta, and I bought an upmarket Ford Fiesta. It was the Ford Fiesta Panache model. It said Panache on the back. It was so badly written it looked like pancake from a distance. And people used to say, I've seen you driving down the road in the pancake. But now I've got a much better car. I've got the Mazda CX-60. I know, it's very posh, isn't it? And I've nicknamed it the Mazda Menopause because sometimes it's very erratic, this car. Sometimes I lock it all up, I go to bed at night, I come down in the morning, the boot is wide open, like it's got hot in the night. It's got a mind all of its own. Years ago I used to have a Yugo. Anybody remember those Eastern European cars that everybody had at one stage? I had a Yugo and everything on it was backwards. The window winders, you had to like wind them down to wind them up. The indicator was on the wrong side. And one day I was on the M56 in Manchester. The sun was shining. I had the window down, because no air conditioning in those days. I had my shades on, leaning out the window, and I'm there cruising down the fast lane. I go put my foot on the clutch, go to change into fifth, and the gear stick came off in my hand. That was a bit awkward. So I freewheeled across 3 lanes of the M56. The RAC man came and fixed it, put the equivalent of a big hair grip in. So that was the correct part, apparently. I got that car from my dad. He lent it to me. I know why, because it was rubbish. Thought it didn't really matter if I crashed it. But my dad was one of those people, he likes economical things. He liked to be economical about things. So we lived abroad, and when we moved back to the UK, the M40 had been built while we were away. But he didn't get a new road atlas. He just got his ruler out and drew the M40 in with a ruler across the country. So we had an M40 that didn't go anywhere where it said in real life. Ours just went in a straight line down the middle of the Midlands, which was great until you actually wanted to know where you were going. But and he still does odd things now. He's got vascular dementia now, which is slightly unfortunate, but it does have some quite funny moments. He's got a big whiteboard in the house, and every day is written on there. And things to do. And I went round one day and it said Attila, 3 o'clock. Oh, fucking hell, Attila the Hun's coming at 3 o'clock. God, that's awkward, isn't it? A bit of pillage going on in the wilds of Winchester. So what else can I tell you about myself? Like I said, we moved down to Taunton about 9 years ago. And of course we didn't know anybody when we moved down here from Manchester. And I thought, what should I do to kind of get to know people in the local community? I'll do some volunteering. That's good, isn't it? Putting something back into the local community makes you feel good. So I joined the Guide Dogs Association. And I went into work on the Monday and they said, what were you doing at the weekend? I said, I've been out guide dogging all weekend. And one of them went, go on then, how does that work, guide dogging? What are you like, audio descriptions? And then another one went, well, I mean, thank God they're not doing Braille. And I said, no, it's not like that at all. I made me just stand there in the entrance. And I've got a bucket. And I asked for contributions. I don't know what was wrong with them. But I travel quite a lot for my job. And it means I often end up eating dinner on my own. So I've become a bit of a professional nosy parker when I'm having dinner on my own, and I kind of earwig other people's conversations. And I was at dinner one night in London. They sit you very close together there in London because they've got to make the most of the floor space. And I was sat near this couple, and they were obviously on like their 3rd date or something, because they were sitting there exchanging bits of information about each other, you know. And he said, oh, I've just packed my son off for the trip to Italy. He said, and my ex-wife phoned and said, have you packed the condoms? And he went, oh no, I haven't packed the condoms. I thought, that's very enlightened of you, isn't it? I did wonder how old his son was at the time. So he said, I got him 24 condoms. And I thought, fucking hell, that's good for a week, isn't it? It's obviously impressive, this guy. And then I kind of thought to myself, imagine, right, if you were the Deliveroo. He said, I got them on Deliveroo. I said, oh my God, I didn't know you could get stuff like that on delivery. I just thought it was like for meals. I mean, imagine, right, you're the delivery driver and the order comes through, 24 condoms. Fucking hell, they're having a good time, aren't they? And you think, right, okay, better hurry up with this then. So and they're always cycling, aren't they? So he cycles off to the shop, goes in there, gets the 24 condoms. Yes, they're having a good time. I thought the same thing, love. Goes back, right, cycles like bugger 8 to the house, rings the doorbell, here's your 24 condoms. It's all right, love, you 17 minutes too late, finish myself off. Oh, right, Can you imagine? So delivery driver gets the order, 24 condoms. Fucking hell, they're having a good time, aren't they? Right, goes to the shop. Shit, no condoms. Better get a substitute. Gets a substitute. Goes, cycles up to the house, goes, here you are, I've got your cauliflower. Oh dear love, I'd rather have had a cucumber. I mean, you can get all sorts of things these days on delivery, but I never realised you could do that. I mean, it's all very odd, isn't it? So, other jobs, what other jobs have I done? I've done lots of jobs in my life. And one of the jobs that used to amuse me the most, I used to run a call centre for a cosmetic surgery company. And you know what it's like, you've got a free phone number, you deal with rude parts of the body, and the summer holidays can be quite tedious, because everybody thinks that they're the first person to ever phone up and ask for certain things. But a lot of the questions that we used to get were really run-of-the-mill, you know, so how much is a boob job? And you'd say, oh, it's $5,000, and they'd say, is that just for one? You'd go, no love, we're doing buy one, get one free this week, it's all right. And there's a lot of stuff in the press, isn't there, about cosmetic surgery, and they always tell you, make sure you choose somewhere reputable with proper qualified doctors and everything. And in our call centre, in our cosmetic surgery company, we were a member of a professional association to give people that level of comfort that they was going somewhere good and somewhere proper. We were a member of the British Association of Aesthetic Plastic Surgeons, or BAPS. Which doesn't quite give me the same level of confidence, I don't know about you. But the thing that I used to find, you know, the most curious about cosmetic surgery, you know, you can have it on finance. So I get the fact that, right, I don't own my car, I've got that on a PCP. I don't own my house, I've got a mortgage on that. But how can you not own parts of your own body? How does that even work, right? So you go to the cosmetic surgery company, you sign up for the finance agreement, you get your lovely pert boobs, you go away, you go back to work, maybe you have a difference of opinion with the boss, you lose your job. You can't meet those repayments on your boobs anymore. What happens then? What about repossession? I mean, does somebody crawl into your house in the middle of the night and come up the stairs commando style and just pop one boob as a warning? Or, you know, you're leaning on the photocopier at work and somebody comes and injects your fat back into your ass because you've had liposuction. How does it work, you know? And these days, couples pay for all sorts of things for each other, don't they? Yeah, they do. So if he pays for your boob job and you split up, who gets custody of the boobs? Eh? I mean, what happens? Does he come on, all right, love, I'll see you in 2 weeks, just give us a squeeze on them. I'll see you in 2 weeks' time, keep them pert. How does that work? I mean, I'd want a prenup or something if I, you know. I'm not giving my boobs away for anybody. Despite the fact that they can kill you. I like to do a bit of sport as well. I don't know about you, any sporty people in the audience? Any swimmers? We live near the sea. Are we near the seaside here? We're near a river though, aren't we? I'm sure I've crossed a river to get here. I've crossed all sorts of things to get here. All sorts of good windy country roads. Anyway, I like a bit of swimming. I'm an indoor swimmer though. I'm not really a wild swimmer, dry road kind of person. Not really for me. In Manchester we don't do that kind of thing because, you know, the Manchester Ship Canal's not really renowned for it, for wild swimming. So I'm a lane swimmer. I swim in my local swimming pool. And I was swimming away the other week. And somebody swam right over the top of me. Apparently there's an etiquette to lane swimming, you know. And I often find as a middle lane swimmer, there's always somebody who's going too fast in the middle lane. He swam right over the top of me, you know, because he was going too fast in the middle lane. I'm sure I was the right speed. He was the hairiest man I think I've ever seen in a swimming pool. Every single hair I felt as it dragged over my body. It was like a one-man filtration system. It was awful. It kind of put me off swimming a bit after that, I have to say. So then I thought I'd take up running. I don't think it's really for me though, running, you know, it's quite hard work, isn't it? So I might try swimming again, but I think I'm going to have to protect myself next time. I'm going to go in like a dry robe in the pool, and that'll protect me. Yeah, I met the founder of Dry Robe the other day. It was his mum's idea. I mean, all good things. So the final thing I want to talk to you about is love.
Oh.
I know. I've been married quite a long time now, and me and my husband, we've got to that stage where, we're prepared we know each other's foibles. And I was thinking the other day, what is love? What is the definition of love? And then it occurred to me that I've been through the definition of love and I've discovered it. So the definition of love is helping your other half find his false tooth, Yeah, it is, The first time he lost his false tooth, we were walking to the shop, right? Now you might think, how does that happen? We walk into the shop and he puts his hand in his pocket and goes, fucking hell, I've lost my false tooth. I was like, what do you mean you've lost your false tooth? He said it was in my pocket. I said, what's it doing in your bloody pocket? It's meant to be in your mouth. He said it must have pinged out while we were walking along. So we're there, like a couple of idiots, shuffling along, like this, like proper old people, looking for this tiny weeny false tooth on a little plate. And we're walking up and down like this, up and down, can't find it anywhere. And these two old people, they see us going up into the shop. We decide to go and do our shopping anyway, just have another look on the way back. And I'm sure they must have taken pity on us. And they were looking for whatever we was looking for. Right, and so, but they walk really slowly anyway, don't they, like proper old people. And they're always a bit stooped over like that, so they're nearer the floor than we are, naturally. So we went in the shop, we did our shopping, we came out, there it was, in the middle of the pavement. I'm sure they found it, So my husband picked it up, wiped it on a tissue, put it in his mouth. And the second time he lost his false tooth, we were at a gig. It was a bit like going back to the 1980s. He's there moshing about in the mosh pit. Suddenly he goes, shit, I lost my false tooth. And it's flown out of his mouth. So, everybody stop, sorry, he's lost his false tooth. Do you remember when contact lenses first came out? They used to fall out of people's eyes. Excuse me, everyone stop, I've lost my contact lens. It was a bit like that, only it was much more embarrassing because it was in the middle of a gig. So anyway, he found it, picked it up, wiped it on a tissue, put it in his mouth. So the third time he lost his false tooth, we were at a little festival, one we go to with all of our mates, and we all take something. We hire this place out, and we all, it's one of those where everybody takes something to make the little festival happen, and it's great. I took a load, because we was living in Somerset, so I took a load of Scrumpy. Oh my God, what a mistake that was. And somebody else took a load of craft ale, and that's quite a mixture when you put them together. And we got in the tent that night, and he's had quite a lot of craft ale, quite a lot of Scrumpy. He's lying there, he's going, will you stop moving the tent? Stop moving the tent, like the tent's not moving. And unfortunately, he lost his drink outside the tent. And the next morning he goes, I've lost my tooth. And I found it for him. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the tooth, the whole tooth, and nothing but the tooth. And that is the definition of love. And I've been Sue Scary. Thank you very much.